Mr. Schwartz owns a lot of property here. From all intents and purposes, he's interested in the city. By agreeing to do the trade, he's already indicated a willingness to let go of the 5 acres. Why not let go of it directly and leave your street alone?
Time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Would anyone like to address?
One question, are you?
Yes.
I'm wondering if, I thought we was told at the beginning, where you would be having your own driveway and everything taken care of. Mr. Schwartz was going to be taking care of it. Is there any truth to that?
That's what you guys said. The contract we got back from his lawyer has nothing in there about a driveway.
Well, what it did, to answer, he did propose, what he sent was an easement agreement. It was an easement that first off goes just off of the edge of what would be Lynn's property line right now. You know, the difference between the property line where the street is probably about 30 feet. Maybe a little more actually. But anyway, so it would go just there. It would be just a 20-foot hitch that went from the driveway to the street. It's one that, under what has been given to him, would be one that he would have to install and pay for himself. There's no offer of taking care of that. And then the other thing too is that it's one that's only for his use and only so long as he maintains his garage exactly as it is. Otherwise it's fine, so it's not even permanent.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Council. But we not brought up that they was going to take care and give Lynn a personal driveway, make it very accessible.
We are under. No.
I think you maybe just turned it off when you thought you were turning it on.
No, I turned it off. There, got it. All right. This is something that we will have to see addressed. I'll tell you that right now, because this council has a other understanding. Okay, that's where we're at right now. Anybody else like to address that? Sandy.
Richard Cleaver.
Oh, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. Whether you close this street or not has no effect on me. I could care less, but I see no benefit in closing the street for one person's interest. When you've already got 20 acres that you need to move, well, is there some reason Casey doesn't want to go out there? I suggest that you sell them some of that. They build out there off the highway will draw in a lot of people, a lot of business for them. And it will also encourage other businesses, I would think, to move into the other 15 acres. And one of you made a comment about a pharmacy. That was my very thought. Where Casey's is at now was meant to be a perfect place for this town to have a pharmacy. I mean, we're situated halfway between Champaign and Bloomington. Decatur's 30 minutes south. Gibson City's 22 minutes north. This is a good central location. You need to work on drawing business in here so we have jobs. Kids get out of school, they have nothing, so they gotta eat, you know. That's what I see is a lot of what is wrong with this town. This town is dead. Been dead ever since I moved here 12 years ago. I see no growth. And I don't see anybody doing anything to try to get business in here. And I think that's a big responsibility to the council. So why sell traits and land, street to benefit him, to get him to sell some land when you've got land yourself to keep? sell. That's my opinion.
Thank you, sir. Yes.
Sir, in response to what you just said, I'm fully understandable about bringing new businesses to town. I've been in contact with Hardee's to get Hardee's to relocate to Farmer City. They had a big campaign, they were building new Hardee's stores. So I talked to Hardee's, I've talked to Sonic, I've talked to McDonald's, because everybody says we need fast food. And we don't want to be competing and running Dewey's out of business, but we need fast food. So I've tried that avenue. And I'm from Farmer City, I've lived here all my life. So I really love this town. And this was just an idea. This wasn't something just out, it's an idea to get the economy jump-started locally. How are we going to do that? A job's a job when it comes to Farmer City, whether it's a good quality job or not. I did ask Casey's about the 20 acres. No one wants to go out there. The utilities aren't out there. If Casey's did want to build, it would break the bank to get the utilities out there because we don't have the current funds to be able to do that. We're not sure, what exactly it's going to cost. We've heard $500,000 to get the utilities out there underneath the interstate. So we are trying. I'm trying to bring new businesses to town. I just want you to know that. And when you say we're doing it for one person, I don't look at it that way. I look at it, and I have to be careful how I say it because I'm not getting anything out of this deal, but I am, because I see it making our town better. I see it by making the town better because, okay, so we're going to close 2 streets, and I'm not cold Mr. Omiker's situation here, don't get me wrong. We're going to close 2 streets. The side streets will never close. That's been going out there on Facebook. Through traffic for east-west will remain open. But if there's more jobs and we can jumpstart the economy, maybe the new Casey's is the first thing. Maybe it's the Casey's, then we get to pharmacy, then maybe somebody else will want to come to Farmer City because they see we care and that we're trying to do something at the local level. There's no help at the state level, there's no federal dollars out there. We have to try it ourselves.
We did ask Casey's if they would locate to the 20 acres, and they said that it was their company philosophy that they be inside the town, and they were not interested. On that, Sandy?
Michelle Monahan.
Council, citizens, thank you all for the opportunity to speak. I do have an opinion that is much different than yours. However, I'm entitled to it. Everyone is entitled to their opinion. The city has closed streets in the past to benefit the city, behind Casey's, near the City Public Works Building, maybe even a couple more. A lot of people are also for this swamp. They are also afraid to speak up. We need to not let issues such as this divide us as a community, divide our friendships or our business relationships. We need to look beyond what we do not see or understand. We need to look at the facts only and not the impacted individuals we may have personal relationships with or care for. We need to put aside secondhand bias, hearsay. This is an opportunity to add more jobs to our community, increase sales, not just for Casey's, but for Dollar General and the other businesses in our community. The greater good to the community has to prevail. The community would benefit from this exchange as a whole, and I am in favor of this exchange. New jobs, additional business, increased revenue. People need not to fear what they do not understand, and it's not their place to understand what goes on in someone's personal property. I understand that there is fear of closing portions of the street. To me, if it were my individual property, yes, I would be upset. However, I also need to take a look at the bigger picture and what is the best thing for this community as a whole. Not what I don't understand about one individual or have bias against that individual, but what is the best thing for the other 2,100 people in this community. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Michelle. You didn't did not ask the question, but I wrote a note here. The second time I heard it was people are afraid to speak. I'm saddened by that. Nobody wants to hurt anybody in this community. These names are people who are passionate about this city. They care. And if you are against it, say it. If you're for it, say it. Now, I think over the last couple of weeks, months, on both sides, there was hostility, and any on my end, I apologize. But what makes Farmer City great isn't the Casey's. It's not the streets. It's not sports. It's us. Don't ever be afraid of the council, police department. If I ever heard of any retribution, I swear they'd be gone in a second. Say it.
Tom McNutt.
Board for about evening. I'm Tommy Knapp. I've been here in Farmer City off and on for the last 22, 23 years. I've had a couple terms on the board. I understand what these guys are going through. They're going through an awful rough time right now. I agree with a lot of what's been said out here as far as Mr. Schwartz goes. If he would just have the gumption or whatever to come up and tell folks what his intentions are with this property in the future, I think it would help these guys immensely. As far as the trade for the ground, in the past, I've always voted against closing any streets. At this time, with the situation as it is, I hate to allow Mr. Schwartz to blackmail the city, which is what he's doing basically. You come right down to black and white, blackmail the city. But as far as the betterment of the community, being allowed to move Casey's out to the curb would be a big improvement for the community. I mean, they're going to pull in more tax dollars, more, I don't know how many jobs, hopefully 5 or 6 more jobs, probably 2, you know, how that goes. It would be an improvement for the restaurant out there, probably pick up business for him. And believe it or not, having Casey's out there will also help us. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it does. If you get 2 units like that off the interstate, more people are more likely to pull off the interstate. And it will help Dollar General. It will help the whole community. Emptying the building on Main Street, yeah, it's a prime location for a pharmacy would be great. Other businesses would be great. And as far as old businesses come to town, they seem to all forget we have a new construction business, 2 new construction businesses in town in the last 5 years. The one over here by the park, I can't think their name right now, but I would say a rough estimate they've hired 15, 20 people. That's 15, 20 jobs in town that weren't here before. You know, Farmer City is having a problem, has had for years. One of the best things we have right now, we got younger people moving in town. There has been a group of people in Farmer City for 100 years that have not wanted growth. They have resisted growth. But we have younger people now. Hopefully they will see the potential. We are in a prime spot. There's no 2 ways about it. We're in a prime spot. I was on the board a few years ago. I have to admit, I made a mistake. I hate to admit it, but I did. I don't think I made a mistake as far as the 20 acres goes. I still think that's a prime location. I think there's a new building done out there. And at that time, I tried to get the fair board to buy this ground on 54 and city trade for it. All I could get was, it's not available. University won't sell it. Nobody ever tried. Well, now we know it's available, or it was. So,
I don't have a whole lot more to say, but I pat these guys on the back. I've ran against them, I've argued with some of them, I've talked, I think, almost all of them in the last couple of weeks, and told them my feelings. They got a rough decision. Just hope they make the right one for the community, not for 2 or 3 or 6 or 8 or 30 people, but for the whole community. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir. Sandy.
Dwayne Goose.
My name is Wayne. I lived in town for 10 years. I live out in Prairie Ridge. We just promised a sidewalk out there, and kids have to play on the street. There's no in and out of town, so I guess the kids are safe, but there's no traffic to kill them. We also had promised a bike path, never came about, so I know, but nothing might get done, but surely once it's done, that happened. But I've been on the town board in Waynesville. I don't know if you guys know where Waynesville is. When we got a bunch of us young guys got elected to the board, we have a new fire truck. Ran half the time when the fire comes, nobody knew how to start the truck or pump the truck. So we got the University of Illinois to come over, and they taught us how to do all that stuff. Well, today, because what we started in Waynesville have a fire district now. So I sympathize with what you guys are going through, being on the town board. My dad was in business in town in Waynesville, and that made it even rougher on me, because people would say, well, you're just doing it for your dad's benefit, when I wasn't. So about Mr. Schwartz, I have a son who probably does the same thing Mr. Schwartz does. He's the number 2 man on the Phillips 66 tax in Houston, Texas. He makes a lot of money, and I guess Mr. Schwartz is an oil man too. So those guys play around with all the money that they got. I've seen it with my own son. But to know what, I'm kind of agree with Tom on that blackmail thing. You might be holding out over your head to get what he wants. He's not thinking about Farmer City, it doesn't sound like to me. But I've been on in your shoes, so I wish you guys could. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I want to address the blackmail. I think Mr. Schwartz is a smart man. I'm not going to take that away from him at all. But on the same token, and could be playing me as a fool, and I understand that. I've made more mistakes than Mr. McDonough did, so I still think we'll get the better deal. I think it's a pawn for a queen. I think that the impossibility of giving up the road and what he's willing to give, I think we'll get the better deal. Because I've tried to do that, I mean, we have people on this board that realize that's an asset, that road's an asset. But so is Casey's. So is 5 more jobs. So is what we would sell the land for. So is the increase in motor fuel dollars. So is the increase in tax dollars. So is the increase in your footprint, your lighted footprint. So is the increase in, imagine how many trucks right now are down 150 that won't bother taking a turn on hubs, that won't go to Casey's because it's too small. So he is a smart man, but we have worked this thing. So I believe we walk away with a better deal. So maybe we're blackmailed. I don't know. Don't know. Anyone?
Don Brackenhoff.
I won't mind the living mistakes
Hi, my name is Don. Don Brackenoff. I've lived here in Farmer City for the last 28 years, ever since I retired from the Air Force. I built a new house down on High Street. I love Farmer City. I personally served 2 terms on the school board and had the pleasure of being part of building our new high school. Back before my wife's health got so bad, she served on the city council, so we have been active in the community and want to remain active. On top of that, Jim Schwartz is a friend of mine. He has been a friend of mine for as long as I can remember. My wife was a classmate of his at what used to be Warren High School, right here in town. That being said, he'd probably be mad at me tonight if he knew I was here talking about him, so that's the way it goes. And I'm not here really to talk about him. I'm here to address you guys and say, I think we have an opportunity to do something good for our town. If some kind of a suitable arrangement can be made with Mr. Homaker, which to me would be the sticking point. I've talked to some of the people involved in this. I heard a little different stamp, so but I'm not a lawyer or anything like that, so I'll shut up on that. Anyway, I hope they can do something for you, Mr. Homaker. Want to see more jobs. In some cases, we'd really like to have that spot out there. It'd be great for our community. And while I'm at it, a little bit about Jim Schwartz. All the people that do all of his construction work live right here in Farmer City. The people that care for his property live right here in Farmer City. People that mow the grass and trim the hedges and all that right here in Farmer City. He hires people as much as he can locally.